My awful husband posted my birth video on the internet even though I told him not to. Now it's on a fetish subreddit because of him. I had my home birth filmed and my husband was very persistent about posting it online. Even though I refused every single time, he went behind my back and did it anyway. Now, me and my newborn are forever exposed on the internet. I went to my mom's house with my kids to get away from this disgusting creep. I couldn't even tell her the reason why I was so upset because I was embarrassed. I didn't want her to go looking for the damn video either. Thinking of my mom searching around an adult film sub to find my birth video made my skin crawl. I just told her something bad had happened and we needed to stay for a while. I kept thinking about telling her because I needed the support and comfort, but I just started crying more. The situation is even more complicated now, so I'm just scared people will be mad at me for doing what I'm doing, even my own mom. My husband called and texted over and over for hours. I texted him once and said we were visiting my mom and would be back later, but I needed a break. He continued to text sporadically, pleading with me to talk with him about what was wrong. I went back over to our house the next day and went with the intention to confront him and record the whole interaction. He ran up to me and immediately started asking what was wrong, asking where the kids were, etc. He was so understandably upset. Seeing him like that just made me start crying too. He tried to hug me and I stepped away, which just made him more upset. I asked him to watch a video on my phone, and he got confused, more so when he realized it was my birth video. A few minutes in, he interrupted to ask why I was showing him that. I asked him how that ended up on Reddit, but he just started raging about how we needed to mass report the post, call the FBI, and blah blah blah. He kept repeating, "We'll fix this. Holy F. This is so sick." I tried to get his attention by asking how did they get that video? But he just kept pacing around ranting. I just started repeating over and over how did they get it? Until I was screaming at the top of my lungs. He started crying and told me that he had started a daddy blog a year after our first was born. He posted about being a dad and eventually about his experience with my second pregnancy. He had posted the video on YouTube to link to his blog. He felt like there weren't enough resources out there for dads regarding pregnancy. He didn't know I didn't want it posted until a week after the baby was born, and I was so adamant about not posting it. It was up for 10 effing months before he finally took it down. He was waiting to see if I changed my mind, and was reluctant to remove it because he'd received so many messages from thankful dads about how educational and helpful his blog/vlogging was. Mind you, I had no idea this blog even existed. We had both expressed many times how we didn't want to create a massive digital footprint for our children because of situations just like effing this, so this is such a effing weird surprise. There's hundreds of pictures of our family on this thing. We got into a huge argument about how this was a breach of trust and privacy. He maintained that he thought my reaction about not wanting the video posted was over the top, and how I never told him I didn't want to share it, how he didn't even think of it as a big deal because he deals with that kind of thing every day, so it was just not a big deal to him and blah blah blah. His excuses were stupid and I don't care. My birth wound up on a fetish subreddit because of him and we are getting a divorce. When I told him it was over, we had another big screaming match. He went through several different emotions. Crying, wailing, begging, and finally anger. He started threatening full custody and how he was going to put up a huge fight, how it would just be he said/she said, how he has the better job, etc. I didn't tell him I recorded anything and eventually just walked out. I'm so effing done with him and this marriage.